A big part of love is meeting people where they're at. I just want to talk about friendship anxiety. If I view someone as like out of my league on the friendship scale, I think I kind of like freak out because I'm like, I have to kind of like prove myself to this person that I'm like worthy of being their friend. That sucks. I have this like overwhelming idea that if I'm not seeing my people all the time, that like they hate me, or maybe they think that I hate them. I'm HANAKATT. We are back for another episode. And yeah, what has been up? Your girl is getting ready for summer. I'm going to New York for a little bit, and so I'm very excited about that. That's at the beginning of July though, and so we have a little bit of time, and so we're doing that. What else has been up? I have not gone to the beach. I had not had a bonfire. I did not do a cute little picnic, and so we got to get our summer bucket list going and on. I think that the vibrations are just very high right now. I feel very gratitude filled and thankful for all the people in my life. And so yeah, I guess, today, kind of changing gears, I just want to talk about friendship anxiety. Now, this is something that my friend Shirley talks about in one of her reels. And if you guys don't know Shirley, she's Classified Closet and also Classified Travels on all social platforms. And so yeah, if you guys want to support her, give her a follow, please go ahead and do that. But I am, just like riffing off her idea because friendship anxiety is so real, right? Like, I think that as an extrovert, as someone who likes to hang out with her friends, I am constantly anxious when I'm not reaching out to people. Like, I think that I have this like overwhelming idea that if I'm not seeing my people all the time, that like they hate me, or maybe they think that I hate them. And I think that those are all just like misconceptions and things that we make up in our head, because actually I don't really know why we do that, right? Because like I fall in the camp of when I'm not like hitting up my friends, I think they hate me. And I actually think that this comes from viewing myself as too important, right? It's self-importance of, oh, if this person doesn't have me, then they don't have anyone. And so I think that that is something like I am currently trying to step away from, of my friends have other friends. My friends have other people that they rely upon. And just because I'm like not seeing them face to face every single week, that doesn't mean that I hate them. It just maybe means that I'm a little busy. And so I think that when it comes to just friendship anxiety in general, like something that I'm working on and like something I'm using as a tool to combat this is either A, actually hitting them up, right? Because I think a lot of like, at least for me, like my anxiety comes from doing or not doing what I'm not supposed to be. And so when I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, then I'm like, why am I doing that? But then when I'm not doing something, I think it's more so that actually. When I'm not doing something that I know I should be doing, that's when the anxiety kicks in, right? So same with like work and procrastinating and, kind of like being in a time crunch, not like leaving your home early enough for a hangout and running late. It's like not doing what you know you should be doing. And so I think that it is anxiety inducing in this whole friendship sense, because it's like I know I should be hitting up my friends, but I like can't get myself to do that. And maybe that comes from like having too packed of a schedule. Like, me personally, I like keep my days very busy. I like to hit people up. Like, honestly, if you don't hit me up like a month or two in advance, you're not on the schedule. My entire summer, like literally through September, is planned. Like, I know all the trips that I'm going on. I know who's coming into town. And so maybe like that's a me issue because I'm a planner, but it's also like we're kind of all grown now and we all have different schedules. We're all busier than we used to be and have more obligations and responsibilities. And so it makes it so that you have to be like proactive in your friendships. And, I'm speaking to myself too of like, I know I should be hitting up my friends and I just don't do it because I get like overwhelmed, right? When I look at my calendar, I literally freak the F out because I'm like, oh, I like don't have a day for myself. And so that's something that, yeah, it's summer and I'm gonna be outside. But that's something like I genuinely want to work on is making sure that I'm like carving out just like chill time and time for spontaneity, right? Like, I think that in the most like recent year, I have become very planner oriented. Like my sister always like gets annoyed because okay, my sister's birthday is at the beginning of May. And so in March, I asked her, I was like, "What are you doing for your birthday?" And she's like, "What the heck? Why are you asking me what I'm doing for my birthday? It is in 2 months." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out and making sure that I'm carving out time for you." Right? So it comes from a very loving place. But I think to other people, she's like, "You're insane. Like, you are not flexible." But I want to build in some time for spontaneity, right? And that can only come when I don't have things planned. And so, how do I balance that, right? Like, how do I see all my friends, but also have time for myself? And I think that this is where Julie comes in with her D&DAs, right? She schedules out her do not do anything days and makes sure that she doesn't plan anything. Or if she does plan something, it's something very, very small. And so it allows her to have time to meet up with her friends, but then also have time for herself. And so maybe that's something that I need to incorporate. I was going to say reincorporate because I know I've talked about doing that, but I've actually like never done it. And so I'm gonna actually do that. I'm actually gonna do that because I need a day off here and there, right? I need some time to just like chill and watch some TV. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but like I literally don't watch any TV. No, that's a lie. I watch some K-dramas, right? Like I will watch maybe 2 a year and that's it. What else am I doing with my free time? I don't really have any. If I do have an hour before bed, I am on TikTok. I am scrolling. I am rotting my brain. I am just consuming information and learning about our world. And so, yeah, guilty. I have my outlets, and I think that is very healthy. Another thing with friendship anxiety, I think, is if it's not the friendship that is meant for you. I think that when we're feeling insecure and we are feeling like we're not being accepted for who we are, it can cause some anxiety. And right, I've had this before where if I view someone as like really cool, like kind of like out of my league on the friendship scale, I think I kind of like freak out because I'm like, oh, yo, I have to kind of like prove myself to this person. Like I have to show them that I'm also cool and I have cool interests and like, that I'm like worthy of being their friend. And like that ish sucks. That sucks to feel like someone is better than you and like that you have placed this person on a pedestal, right? Because it's like constantly feeling insecure about like who you are and where you're at and what you're saying. And like, right, I think that's normal when like you are a little bit more aware of like what you're saying to people, especially strangers. But if you're having to do that with like your quote close friends, I would simply ask you to reevaluate like what you value in a relationship and like maybe what that person like sees in you, right? Like is this friend just there like to kind of like boss you around or to like use you as a punching bag? Like do they not actually value you? And so if for that reason you're having friendship anxiety where you're like, oh, I just like don't know if I'm worthy of this person, then like I highly implore you to reevaluate not only that friendship, but like maybe also go inside. Like, let's go into ourselves and figure out like maybe why we feel this need to like prove ourselves to other people, right? Because I personally think that you should get to a point where like you love yourself so much to the point where like it's like you accept me or you don't. And that's not to be like, oh, if I get feedback from a partner or a friend or a parent saying like, hey, I noticed this thing, like maybe you should work on it. Like I'm open to feedback, and like I honestly would hope that like my loved ones are like talking to me about those things. But like, right, to a certain extent, it's like you should love me for where I'm at and who I am. And like I think a big part of love is meeting people where they're at, right? That is like one of the biggest lessons in my life, is like recognizing that like love isn't conditional and like have all these bounds. And yeah, it might like impact the relationship a bit, but at the end of the day, it's like you always got that person's back. And so go into yourself and figure out why it is that you maybe aren't like accepting of yourself. And like maybe that's the cause of your anxiety, is like not being proud of who you are and how far you've come. Because, right, at our age, it's kind of like we've been working on ourselves for quite some time, right? I kind of like look back on my journey of self-growth and healing and, you know, dealing with all the trauma and the current issues and going to therapy. And I'm like, it took a lot to get here. Like, this is not version 1 of me. Like, this is like the re-edition, you know, like a little Prada re-edition bag. This is the re-edition where like there have been improvements made, and we're on the comeback, baby. And so if you're having friendship anxiety because you don't feel accepted by the people you quote call your friends, then like let's reevaluate, you know? And then the third kind of friendship anxiety, maybe not having friends. I've talked about this before. I think that it really is about just like putting yourself out there. And when I say it comes from you and you have to like look inside in order to like make friends and like make healthy friendships, it really is about like, maybe this is a little narcissistic of me, but like thinking that like you're great, like you're the best. Like I hope you all know, I think I'm great, and I've worked really hard to like be who I am and like be as like grown and self-reflective as I am. And like that did not happen overnight, and I'm very happy with like all the progress that's been made, and I know that there's gonna be a lot of progress made, but like I truly like love myself because I put in the work, right? Like, you know, when you work really hard on something, a project, a work project, a creative venture, a business, your music, your art, like you're proud of your work. And so just the same, I put so much effort into building up who I am now, to the point where like I'm proud of it. Like I'm so proud of everything I've done to like get to this place today. I'm sure we all went through it during COVID. I know I did. Like I was an emotional wreck. I was very sad girl. I was in my sad girl era. I like just felt so isolated and alone and misunderstood, and it was just like a very like dark stormy cloud for like 2-3 years. And so I kind of like, you know, look back on those days and I'm like, damn, I really freaking went through it, but we are out on the other end and we are as good as ever. Like had I not gone through that, I don't think I would be as confident or as strong as I am now. Like hardships build resilience, and I'm a firm believer in that. And so I'm very thankful for all the hardships that I went through, especially during COVID. And you know, I'm proud of you guys too, because like that was the inception of all this, right? Of recognizing that like we're all feeling a little bit lonely, and I want to share this life with all of you. And so when it comes to the anxiety of not having friends, ask yourself maybe like why you feel anxious about that. Is it the outside perception that you don't have friends? Is it that you're afraid to show who you are to other people? Is it that you've been burned before? Like, let's go inside and ask ourselves these like deep, like kind of hard questions, because at the end of the day, only you know why like you are feeling anxious about building relationships. And you know, I said this last week, but it's not that serious. Like I have embarrassed myself plenty in front of people that like I want to be friends with. And like, they either accept me or they didn't. And like, that's okay. Because if people don't accept you for who you are and where you're at, that's not a friend. Like, I'm not trying to prove myself to anyone. Like, friendship should not be that hard, because hopefully the people that you want to surround yourself with are like caring, authentic individuals, and like see beauty in the people around them, even if like they are different, and even if like they don't have the same interests as you, and like hopefully they're like open to like meeting a new kind of person. And so if you are lonely on that front, I encourage you to self-reflect and then take action, right? It's not a self-help book where you could just read it and then not do anything. Recognize the reasons which make you anxious about friendships, and then go out and like, let's fight that, right? Like last week I talked a lot about growth mentality, and like, dude, I fully believe in that. Of like, you might not have friends now, but that doesn't mean that you won't have friends forever. So like, let's work on that a little bit, right? Like, let's be a little bit proactive. Go out to a run club. Even though, y'all, I'm like kind of over running. I like did my little 8K trail run, and like I think it made me hate running. Oopsie. So me and Joyce and Diane are actually going to go on a run this weekend, and we're going to try to figure out if I still enjoy running or if it was the hill that scared me off. I think that's it for this episode. Shout out to Shirley for just speaking about this on her social media, because I was like, dude, you're so right. Like, I have friendship anxiety all the time, and so you are not alone. We are here for you. And so like, comment, subscribe for more episodes like this. Also, let me know what you guys want me to talk about, because I only have so much in my capacity. I only have so much in my worldview, but if there's something that you want me to talk about, I will talk about it if I have an opinion on it. And so thank you guys so much for following along yet another week, and I will catch you guys in the next one.